How's it going, man?
The kingdom rules, man. It's all about the
It
kingdom.
sh- it sure does, man. I'm telling you. We've talked a bit about this here last couple of weeks, and you know, whenever I started kind of looking around as far as social media goes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, there's not a lot of Northwest Arkansas support for the Chiefs yet. You see Chiefs fans all over the place.
Well, just Jason, I live in Bella Vista, Bentonville, Bella Vista, and you see a ton of Chiefs fans up here, and
Hmm.
there are groups that get together and they do have Chiefs watch parties at the couple of places in Bella Vista because we're right on the Missouri border. I mean, my house literally is maybe a mile and a half from the Missouri border, and so yeah, I guess maybe I'm just fortunate to be up with my people, so to speak, up here.
Yeah.
But it's all about the Chiefs. And if you've ever driven through Bella Vista and into Jane, Missouri, as soon as you cross the border there, where that Macadoodles big liquor store is, there's a big Chiefs party bus that sits there in that parking lot,
Yep.
and it's so I kind of consider this. I don't know if it's the gateway to the kingdom, but it's definitely on the trail to the kingdom. We're up here in Bella Vista.
It is. And, for years and years, and I know you can attest to this too, this area has been really dominated by Cowboy fans. I
Oh, don't
mean,
say that!
whenever
Don't say that, man. That's
I
that's
know,
bad words, man. Don't say that.
I know those are ugly words. I'm telling you, whenever I was growing up as a kid, if there was a Cowboy game on and a Chiefs game on, the Cowboy game was on. And then if it was on NBC or CBS, that was an infomercial now. I mean, it
Yeah,
was, you kind of grew up indoctrinated in a way to being a Cowboy
yeah,
fan. But now you've had so many transplants coming to Northwest Arkansas, and not only are they from different parts of the country, but they also root for the Chiefs too. And
yeah,
I would say all of them, but a lot of them do, and it's because one, they win. They have a great organization. They have a very likable roster. They have a very likable coach that a lot of people can also connect with, and they're able to identify with the Chiefs more so than the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, full disclosure here. I grew up just outside of Dallas.
Hmm.
Born in 1961. So the Chiefs the Texans, were still in Dallas when I was born, and my dad was a life insurance salesman in Dallas.
Hmm.
And in the off season, some of the Dallas Texans guys, including their backup quarterback, Mike Livingston, they sold insurance in the off season because back then they didn't make the kind of money that they make now. They didn't make those millions that they make now, and so they had off season jobs. And so he got to know Mike Livingston, and then the Texans, and then when they made that move to Kansas City, my dad, I remember it when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. He was like, the wrong team left Dallas, and they should have stayed, and and all that. But I was a Cowboys guy growing up, and I loved the Cowboys. When I was younger, because the Texans had moved to Kansas City and were the Chiefs. But I tell people that my relationship with the Cowboys is like having a girlfriend or someone that you just kind of drift apart over time, and you just kind of love them a little bit less and less every day until you're like, I just don't have that feel for this franchise. I need to, I'd like to go back and do something different. And I kind of went back to what my dad was, and he always liked the Chiefs and Hank Stram and that kind of thing. And
Hmm.
I'm like, you know what? That's going to be my team. And Jason, when I made that move, I mean, it was pretty soon after Joe Montana had decided to go to Kansas City. So it's been
Yeah.
that far back. But man, we were bad for a long time,
Yeah.
long time.
There was a huge there was a huge gap really between Lynn Dawson and Joe Montana. Honestly, there
Yeah,
really was.
yeah,
And you just didn't see it. And then all of a sudden you get a guy that won 4 Super Bowls with the San Francisco 49ers, and now he's in your backyard. It really, honestly, it reinvigorated the entire fan base, not only
It
Kansas
did.
City but the surrounding area.
Yeah, it did. And the Chiefs were kind of a little bit of an afterthought. They were such a powerhouse, in the when the franchise first started, and then in the AFL, and then they won their first Super Bowl, in 1970, and they were a phenomenal powerhouse, organization. And then then Stram, he left, and it just we kind of went into a dark hole for a long time, and it just took a long time to get out of it. And I do credit Montana for kind of pumping life back into the fan base and the organization. And we got better, not championship level, but we got better. And then we hit another dark period, the Romeo Cornell days, and that was kind of dark at that time and everything. But I am enjoying this. I know it's not going to last forever. I'm enjoying this ride right now, and because I know that it can go the other way, and it will go the other way at some point. We know that's going to happen, so I'm enjoying this right now.
Yeah, I really feel like over the last, I would say, honestly, 10 years, really, you've kind of been living in the golden age of Kansas City football.
No doubt.
Because after Romeo left and he went down to the Texans, and you still had Alex Smith on contract, and then you bring in Patrick Mahomes, honestly, there hasn't been a real drop off, not only in offense, but also really in defense too, that has perpetuated the Chiefs' success. Now, there was a couple of years that were kind of downtrodden, but then they were able to bounce right back up. They were able to right the ship. And, you have to really credit Clark Hunt for all of the maneuvers that he's made over, the last 10 years to really, he's been building this organization, him and a couple of GMs between here and there, but they've really been able to start to, as they build, they're stacking. They're not taking a step backwards. So whenever they're able to, you're starting to see that stack go up. I think that's where you're starting to see where this is all starting to paramount.
Well, give Brent Veach a lot of credit. He and his staff have done a great job in the draft, in the NFL draft, the last, starting with Mahomes and making the trades to move up in the draft to get a guy, a generational quarterback, but you take a look at the last 2, 3, 4 drafts that he's put together. That's the nucleus of this, the Super Bowl teams these last, these last 5, 6 years is they haven't gone out and spent money on signing big time free agents. They've built their team through the draft. They're, predominantly homegrown guys. Last year they had a couple of receivers, Juju, Schuster, and whatever, and those were signees. But by and large, the nucleus of the team is Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Willie Gay, L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, all drafted guys.
Yep. And I want to bring this up really quick because like I said, the NFL announced that they have increased the salary cap by $30 million from last year to this year. That's an increase of 13.6%. And Patrick Mahomes has restructured his contract. We talked about last year, he was a $37 million cap hit. Once it's all said and done, it's going to be right around 20, I think is what we were talking about, somewhere in that area.
I think 20, somewhere between 22 and 24 million is what his hit's going to be. So basically, Jason, what it boiled down to is this year was your year to get the Chiefs. This was your year. They had to sign wide receivers from garage sales, basically. They had I don't know how many rookie or first or second year players playing in key positions. Kelce was hurt basically the first half of the season, if not more. Chris Jones was a holdout. I mean, everything was there for you to get the Chiefs this year. This was going to be the year, and it didn't happen. Now all of a sudden, the salary cap is.
Might have lost Chip there for just a second, but the salary cap definitely with the expansion.
We can retain these guys. We got a lot of maneuverability now, and That's not good for the for the rest of the NFL. It's just
No.
not. I mean, we're sitting here primed to make a Patriots style, run. I mean, we are.
Yeah, I really believe so. And with that extra space, they're going to be able, looking at what they possibly could have had in cap space, they were looking anywhere between 240 and 245 million dollars. And the Chiefs knew that they would be able to have a little bit more wiggle room, but not a lot. Trying to, bring back L'Jarius Sneed, trying to bring back Chris Jones. You're also looking at Chanel that might be leaving, Willie Gay's leaving. You just lost, the punter's gone. You brought in the Buffalo punter today, and there's a couple of other pieces that you need to really lock down. But now with the restructure of Pat, possibly even the restructure of Travis Kelce a little bit, because I mean, you bring those guys in and say, hey, you know what? Give us 7-8% back. We'll backload that on the end of your contract. Let's keep riding this thing out until it burns out. But you start to bring in some of those defensive guys back. You might be able to let L'Jarius Sneed go, even though him and Trent McDuffie were such a great pairing in the backfield on both sides of the ball, or on the corners. And you might be able to save some money by trying to get a really good guy through the draft, which they have. I think that they've got some really good eye for talent on that side of the ball, bringing him in and their game translating to the NFL. Because let's face it, you get a guy from the college ranks. A lot of times they don't translate into that role that you thought they might be in.
No, and something else, that you really need to think about too. I know, first of all, you have to understand you can't re-sign everybody. You can't have an elite player at every position because of the salary cap. So you can't do that. So you got to be very frugal with where you're going to spend your money. You've also got a couple of offensive linemen that need to be locked up long term. For sure, Creed Humphrey needs to be locked up long term. Joe Tooney needs to be locked up. Those guys are going to have to get paid, because I don't care how many guys you have on defense. You got to protect number 15, and you got to have those linemen, locked down and whatever. I do think the Chiefs probably need to make at least one move at offensive tackle, probably on the right or left side. I don't know what they're going to do there, but we were not as good at the tackle positions as we have been. So we're going to have to do something there. But I think what they will do, I think they're going to let Sneed walk. I really think that. I think that's the deepest position group on the team. It's not a position of need. That's a position of want. And I think, I believe in Spagnuolo and what he teaches and all of that. And so I think Sneed walks. I think he leaves. And he's won what, two, or was he there for all three? I know for two for sure. What really does he have left there to accomplish? I mean, go get paid, man. Go get your money.
I think he does have. I do believe he does have three, because this is the last year of his rookie contract, which was 4 years. So I do believe, this would be his third championship. And I mean, you look at it, and you're at a young age like he is. He's probably 25, 26 at this point, maybe. Yeah. And you've already got 3 championships.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you said, go get some generational wealth that's going to not only help your family, but your kids and your grandkids.
Right. Now,
and if you want to come back, come back.
Yeah. Now, Chris Jones is a little bit different because Chris Jones, in addition to being one of the best players at still a relatively, a prime type of age, is also a guy that you would love to have to. So say you keep Chris Jones, which, you keep him. You go out and draft a defensive tackle. Like the last mock draft I saw had the Chiefs taking Tavondre Sweat out of Texas. So you bring in Tavondre Sweat out of Texas. You let him work under and with Chris Jones for a couple of years, dude. You've got I mean, you can't get any better than that. So that's why, I don't think you get the same bang for your buck with L'Jarius Sneed. I'm just saying, I think Chris Jones is a must. I think L'Jarius Sneed would just be a bonus. Not have to have it, but it would be a it'd be nice to have him back. Chris Jones, you have got to have that guy back.
Yeah, and what is so important about Chris Jones is that it's his intangibles and the command that he has in the locker room.
Well,
There's only a
he's the
couple of
leader.
guys.
Yeah, he's the leader.
Yeah,
No doubt.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's only two guys in that locker room that everybody looks up to. It's him and it's Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
And you can even say probably Travis Kelce as well.
Yeah.
But of those three, he's the guy on the defense that sets the tone.
He does.
And you don't let a guy like that walk.
No, you can't. You can't. You've got to re-sign him, even if that means you lose an all-pro cornerback, even if that means you lose a Willie Gay, even if that means that you can't re-sign Drew Tranquil, because if you keep Chris Jones there, that's the pressure on the quarterback, which lessens the load on the guys on the back end. You got a guy like Jones who can get to the quarterback. You don't have to be as good at cornerback. You don't have to be as good, in other places. And, keep in mind, too, that Charles Omenihu missed 6 games to start the season. Then he missed the Super Bowl. But in between those games, he made a big impact on that defense.
He did.
Next year, you put Jones and him together for a full season, plus if they drafted Tavondre Sweat, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because whenever you start to look at the amount of the pass rush that the Kansas City Chiefs have, if they do get a guy like Tavondre Sweat, or getting a Omenihu back for the entire season, whenever you have something like that, that right there strikes fear in an offensive play caller's eyes week in and week out, and that completely changes really the game plan that you have going against the Chiefs. And now not only are you trying to negate what their rush is doing, now they're dictating what you do on offense for the entire week, and that's where I think that's where the biggest difference will come in.
Yeah. Don't forget Mike Dana had a great season too. I mean, he did. And then so you get Jones back, you draft a guy that you draft a guy like Tavondre Sweat, who is a run stopper. You got Chris Jones. Oh, by the way, George Karlaftis now is free to roam and do what he needs to do from the edge or wherever they choose to line him up, and that's why he played at such a high level this year was when they had Omenihu and Jones going together and the way Dana was playing, that freed up Karlaftis to be the kind of player, that he was at Wisconsin, which is a terror on the edge. And, we're set. That's what I'm saying. You can afford to let some of those back end guys go because you can draft cornerbacks. You can draft. You can find linebackers. Those dudes up front, those are the guys it's hard to find. And when you've got them, you got to keep them. You got to find a way to keep them.
Yeah, you do. Well, man, this has been a lot of fun talking. This is gonna get on to the first show that's going to air Monday. And do you have a message for Chiefs fans to start trying to kind of rally here in Northwest Arkansas and trying to get a Chiefs Kingdom South down here really kind of built up a little bit?
We need that. Jason, what I tell people is if you're down on the NFL because of things that happened in the past, the kneeling for the prayer, I understand that. I've got a lot of friends. I don't watch the NFL because they kneel during the national anthem and yada, yada, whatever. And I'm like, you know what, man, that was a long time ago. I tell people, if you ever have a chance to go to an NFL game, and I'm not saying this because I'm a fan. I've been to a lot of NFL and college games, a lot of them. There's nothing like a Chiefs game. Nothing. And it doesn't matter. Sure, winning is great. But the Chiefs fans have been great, whether they've won Super Bowls or they've gone 1-15, and I've been there for both. They're just fun. It's a great atmosphere, and right now they're winning, and that makes it even more fun. But it's just it's just a fun organization that's right here in your backyard. You go to a game, you tailgate for 3-4 hours before the game, and get a little bit lubricated, and then go the game. There's nothing like it. I mean, it's phenomenal, and I'm glad that about 15 years ago or so, I made the switch to the Chiefs. There were some dark days.
Mm-hmm.
There were Derek Thomas's death and all that kind of stuff. There were a lot of dark times, for the Chiefs. We're enjoying this now because we know it can go the other way, and at some point it probably will go the other way for a while. But we're riding this train now and just enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah, and when I talked to you a couple of weeks ago, also talked to Ty Richardson a little bit about it too. I was really shocked to find out that there was not a central area for Chiefs fans to go get content, watch, that's based in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
A place where, if there was a place for them to go and, congregate on a Sunday and watch the game and go with other Chiefs fans, there was a where you could find out any of that information. And that's what I'm trying to, get out there for everybody is to get everybody together. And that's why I told you it was about time that somebody, able to do this. It creates a sense of community. It really you're able to create a better experience where fans come together. Because I'm just going to put it to you straight, man. This day and age, it's kind of hard for us to be able to, entrust in getting into that area because there is a lot out there that make you kind of go, no, maybe not so much. But if you can start to find those areas where you feel comfortable in getting out and then being with other people again, man, that's what this is what this whole thing is all about.
Well, good deal. Well, what they need to do, man, Chiefs fans, if you're in the area on Sundays when the Chiefs play, load up that car and drive up to Bella Vista. Go to JJ's up in Bella Vista. Go to the pizza place. I can't think of the name of it. Gusano's Pizza. You go in those two places, and they're side by side in the same little shopping center. It's filled with Chiefs fans. It's filled with Chiefs fans.
Is it Gusano's?
But we need more. Yeah, Gusano's or JJ's in Bella Vista. And
Gotcha.
like I said, they're big. It's a big nesting area for Chiefs fans, and come on up here and enjoy the game with us. And I promise you'll have fun. Because that's what Chiefs fans are all about, fun.
Yep, definitely. Well, Chip, you're on the road, it sounds like, and we're gonna get you out of here real quick. Are you going to the softball game today, or are you going down to the baseball game?
Well, I'm doing softball. This is a huge weekend. I know this show's dropping on Monday, but this weekend's big. I mean, we've got a track meet going on. We got a softball tournament going on. We got the baseball team down in Texas. We got men's basketball at home, women's basketball at home, and a gymnastics meet Friday night. So there's a lot of things going on this weekend. A lot of things were going on this weekend. And I'm out at softball at Bogle Park. You and I have been out there together a couple of times. I love that program. Courtney Deiffel, man, what a terrific job she does with that program. And they're ranked number 14 in the country. And so I'm the lucky one. I got them for this weekend.
All right, well, man, I'm gonna get you out of here, and you take care, and we will see you soon.
Anytime, man. Appreciate it. Go Chiefs.